the second page of Course 2 Study Guide number 5. Number 10 has us multiplying 3 fractions. You can multiply across and then reduce it, but it's much easier if you will cancel any numerators and denominators that you can. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cancel this 4. 4 goes into 4 one time, and 4 goes into 4 one time. And then I'm going to cancel these 3's. It has to be a numerator and denominator. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 goes into 3 one time. Well, notice I'm left 1 times 1 times 2, and 1 times 5 times 1, which is 2 over 5. Number 11, divide right answers as simplified mixed number. So we've got 3/4. Now when you divide fractions, remember the KFC. You keep the first one the same. You flip the second one, which simply means it's reciprocal, and you change the division to multiplication. Now, once it's multiplication, you look to see if you can cancel, and there's no numerators and denominators that do, so I have 3 times 3 on top, which is 9, and 4 times 2, which is 8. It does say write it as a mixed number, so we'll divide 8 into 9. It goes one time with a remainder of 1 and a divisor of 8, so it's 1 1/8 in simplified mixed number form. Number 12, simplify 10 squared minus the square root of 16. Well, 10 squared is 10 times 10, which is 100. And the square root of 16 is 4, because 4 times 4 is 16. So 100 minus 4 is 96. Number 13, you've got 256, and you're going to take something away from it to get 128. Well, then these two numbers would have to add up to this 256. So if we take the 256 and take away the 128, then we'll know what we took away here to get the 128. See, they both subtract out and give you the amount. And this was kind of interesting because when you start borrowing, you get 8 from 16, which is 8, and 2 from 4, which is 2, and then 1 from 2 is 1. So x ends up being 128. If you take 256 and take 128 away from it, you get 128. And that was just kind of a coincidence that I set that one up like that. Number 14, if the perimeter of a square is 28 inches, what is its area? Well, let's draw a square whose perimeter is 28 inches. Well, all sides are the same, and there's 4 of them, so each side has to be 7 inches. Now, the area of a square is just like a rectangle, because it is a rectangle, is length times width. And a square is special because the length and width are the same, so we've got 7 inches times 7 inches, which is 49, and then inches times inches is square inches. So don't forget your units. That's what some people usually miss a -1 on. Number 15, we've got 12 times two numbers added together. So we're going to take the numbers inside and add them. So I've got 12 times 6 plus 7 is 13. So I need to go over here and do my multiplication. I can put either one of them on top. It doesn't matter. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 1 is 1. And when I complete that, I get a product of 156. Number 16. Now this time I'm taking 24 away from a number to get 75. So this number has to be the sum of these two. If I'm going to take 24 away from it and be left this, then I need to add these two together to find out what it's going to be. So 5 plus 4 is 9, and 7 plus 2 is 9. So 99 minus 24, if you check it, does give you 75. Number 17, 15 times x equals 75. Now you can think about it different ways. You can say 15 times something equals 75. And if you think about it that way, we need to know how many times 15 will go into 75. Well, it should go exactly. If you start trying to see, 3 times would be 45. That's not big enough. 5 times will be 60. That's not quite big enough. So let's try, let's see, 4 times will be 60. I think I said that backwards. And then 5 times, let's try 5. And 1 times 5 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So there's our number. So 15 times 5 is 75. So x is 5 is what we're looking for. Because 15 times, that's multiplication right there, is 75. Okay, I've got two fractions that are equal. And if you want to find out what the numerator or denominator is, we need to come over here. Actually, I'm going to rewrite it. And I'm just going to leave that blank. I'm going to make it a box. I need to know what form of 1 I'm multiplying by here to get 24. So if I know what the bottom is, I can do the top also. Well, we know 6 times 4 is 24. And I can only multiply the numerator by the same number because that's the only way. This is a form of 1. Let me mark it like we do in the book and in our notes. That's a 1. And if you're multiplying by 1, then these are still going to be equal. So I have a 6 times 3, which is 18. So that's our unknown. Number 19 says write 5 3/7 as an improper fraction. Well, let's take the 5 3/7 and multiply the 5 times the 7, if you remember the shortcut, which is 35, and then add the 3, which is 38, and the divisor or the denominator is a 7. Okay, this one says simplify and write your answer as a mixed number in lowest terms. That's what that means. So we already have common denominators, so we know our denominator is going to be 5, and we just add 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is 6. And then I can write that as a mixed number by dividing 5 into 6, and it goes one time with a remainder of 1 and a divisor of 5, which is 1 1/5.